I want to thank you for joining me today. And before we get started, as always, all messages that are released on this channel are my truth. And that is exactly what it is and what it always will be. And that is my truth. Now, my truth consists of a bunch of experiences that I gained clarity from, which ultimately took me back to the real me, which is truth. Now, when I try to convince you that my truth is the gospel, however, my truth is the gospel for me. That does not make it the gospel for you, nor will I ever try to make it the gospel for you. By me being on this platform, I am simply placing breadcrumbs on a path that I've already walked. Now, you find yourself on a similar path and you resonate with said breadcrumbs and you say, you know what, I like that. I want to follow that. And that's cool. If not, that is cool as well. My purpose is to assist those who are ready to get out of their own way. So let's get right into it. All right. So I just wanted to hop back on and pay a little bit more respect to value. I know I put out another message on it, but I know actually I did not give it the respect and attention that it deserves, because my major changes came when I sat down and I put pen to paper and I really could see visually all the things that I brought to any connection that truly helped me understand my value when I could see it. Now, I knew I had value. I knew that. I just never sat down and really sat with myself and truly looked at it. And once I did, everything changed. Whereas before, when I didn't really assess my value, I was moving completely different. So I said it before, and I'll say it again before I begin. If you're delusional, these messages are not for you. And they are not going to resonate. But if you're here for change, you're here because you're feeling lost and I just don't understand this and that, and man, I'm trying hard, but this person and blah, you got all this stuff going on. You just need clarity. Understanding your value can help you a lot. And once you understand your value, you need to walk from that knowing. Walk from that new version, that valued version, not the old version, the new valued version. And when you're walking from that new valued version that you're going to stick with, it's going to help you weed out all those people who don't deserve to be in your life. Because trust and believe, they're going to show themselves. I said it before. If you're making any kind of positive changes in your life that are for the good, and someone in your life has a problem with that, try to convince you otherwise, try to talk you, do anything that's not applauding you. Say, hey, I'm glad to see that. They're not saying anything positive, then you need to watch that person. Now for me, I'm just going to remove my energy. I see you now. I'm out. That's just me. But I'm going to continue on. So we're going to talk about, I'm going to give about just seven questions. I don't want this to be a crazy long message, because when I sat down and I put pen to paper to things to help me assess my value, I asked myself a ton of questions. It was a whole bunch of questions. And that helped me align with this version that I am right now, right? It helped me get on the way to that, I will say. Because I assessed my value years ago. And that put me on the right path. So, let's dive into some of these questions. Number one, do I know my value, or am I letting others determine it for me? This is a very dangerous place to be, letting someone else determine your value. If someone wants to keep you trapped, you think they're going to give you good value? Of course not. I know that was the case for me. People knew my value, right? They saw my potential. Now, I was too busy being caught in childhood trauma and all this other stuff to really assess my own value. So my mindset, because of my programming, was basically my value was determined on how much I could give and making sure everybody else was right? Only to realize that I was abandoning myself by doing that. Yeah, everybody else was good, but I wasn't. But I kept going. No matter how draining it was, because it was extremely draining. Why? Because I was always giving from an empty cup. I was giving, and not receiving. We're going to continue on, though. Before I continue on, let me give you a little quick story. There was a family. They used an old rock to prop open their door for decades. One day a jeweler visits and notices it, and he laughs and says, "Do you realize that's one of the largest uncut diamonds I've ever seen?" The family had been stepping over a fortune every day because they did not know what it was. Now, ignorance of your value doesn't reduce your value. I wasn't aware of how valuable my energy was. Others were, but I didn't. And it was things put in place to try to make sure I never recognized that value. Why? Because they were benefiting from me being in a lower vibration. So I was unbalanced. So all that high vibrational energy was being taken because I was only using the lower vibration energy. See, this is how these energies, entities, societies, whatever you want to call them, I don't care. That's how they operate. So you can give yourself permission to do anything, right? All you think you got to do is convince your mind, oh, they're not, look, they're living a low vibrational life. They're not even using this high vibration energy, so I'm just going to take it and use it for myself. Continuing on. Number 2, what do I bring to any relationship? Write it out. Am I reliable? Am I bringing love to the table? Do I bring peace, protection, trust, open heart, good advice? Write down everything that pops up in your head that is true. In every case, this is what I'm bringing in every case. Don't be delusional. Be honest with yourself. If you're a shitty person, then admit you're a shitty person. You know what? I've been a shitty person up until this point. You know what? I'm going to change. And then once you decide to do that, walk in that. But walk in it fully. And like I said, once you start doing that, the people are going to reveal themselves to you who should and should not be in your energy. Number 3, when someone fails to recognize my value, do I try harder to prove myself, or do I recognize I am simply around the wrong person, place, or thing? Now, for me, I was the one who always wanted clarity, right? I didn't want to be misunderstood. So I was the one that was working harder, right? I wanted to make sure they understood that that's not what I meant. That's not what I was trying to say. So I work harder to make sure that hey, you realize, hey, I am a good person. I don't have to do that. I know I'm a good person. So why should I have to work harder to get you to see that? That's when I started to change. When I was observing people, and I was like, Oh, you do see me. You just don't want me to see me. I wasn't being misunderstood. I was being taken advantage of. Because they knew I would always be the bigger person. I would always take the high road. So if someone knew that, they just took advantage of it. And kept doing things so they're thinking, he gonna take the high road, he gonna forgive me. Meanwhile, I'm not listening to all these messages when I started to observe things, and I'm just telling them over and over, but not directly, because I wanted them to change on their own so I could know it's real. Then after I watched, there was no change, I exited. Because those same individuals can sit down now, I bet, and say, oh, dang, that's what he meant that whole time. So he saw who I was the whole time. Yeah, I did. But I still accepted you, and I still let you stay. See, the people that was in my life, they overestimated their value in mine and underestimated my value in theirs. Because see, they were using my energy, thinking it was their own. And then when I removed my energy from the equation, it wasn't until then that they saw. Don't prove yourself to anyone. Just be you, be authentic, be real. And if that person, job, whatever the case may be, doesn't see your value, cool. I'll put myself in an environment where they do. Before I move on to number 4, I'll give you another story. A dusty old violin sits at an auction. Most people walk right past it, assuming it was worthless. The auctioneer started the bidding. $10. Can I get a 20? No one was interested. An elderly violinist walks forward, picks it up, tunes it, and plays this breathtaking melody. The room falls silent. When he finished, the auctioneer starts again. 1,000, 5,000, 20,000. Now the violin didn't change. The people finally recognized what was always there. Now, sometimes your value isn't missing. It's just simply unrecognized. And if you're in a situation where somebody just doesn't recognize your value, remove yourself. If that violin had some feet, I hope it would have got up and walked right up out of it. Let me go to another auction there. Because it was surrounded by people that did not know its value. And I found that to be the case with me. I was surrounded by people who just refused to see me for who I am authentically, who I truly am. Because see, this is how I look at it. If someone values you, they're going to do everything to make sure you stay in their life. That's a fact. If you're valued, you're going to know you're valued. If you're not valued, you're also going to know that as well. The only question is, are you going to accept that? Because for a long time, I could see how I was being treated, right? But I stuck around because of titles, labels, which is something I do not do anymore. Because it was just a trap. But I'm going to continue on. Number 4, am I staying connected to people, places, relationships, jobs, situations because they genuinely serve me or because I am afraid to let them go. Like I said, it doesn't matter what it is, job, relationship, friends, it does not matter. As long as you stay connected to those energies, the energies that should be there cannot enter into your life. If I'm vibrating at let's say 400, right? And I'm connected to a bunch of people who have a lot of fear and shame and guilt in their energy. Their energy is going to pull my energy down even lower. So those people who are vibrating at 400 can't even enter into my life because I'm not even vibrating at 400. But when you release those people, places, and things, your energy can balance itself out. But as long as you stay connected to energies that do not serve you, that do not value you, they are going to lower your value. Do not be afraid to let things go. If you do not let anything go, how can something else better enter in its place? When you start to look at things like that, it's a lot easier to let things go. See, people are looking at things, well, if I let them go, I won't have nobody. That's lack. When you look at things from abundance, if I let this job go, I can get a better job. I let this person go who's not serving me, I make room for that person that should be here in my life. Stop looking at what you're losing. Start looking at what you're going to gain. Look through the eyes of abundance, not lack. Continuing on, number 5. Do I believe I deserve love, peace, respect, happiness without having to earn them through suffering or overgiving? Now, I was for sure a huge, and I do mean huge, overgiver. Because I'm extremely loving, loyal, and I want to see everybody happy. And also childhood traumas. I would see the smiles on the faces when I would give things to people and this, that, and the other. So, that's how I determined my value, by how much I could give, which in turn made me an overgiver. The only problem with that is it was not being reciprocated back to me. So I found myself in a deficit all the time. I was always giving from an empty cup because nobody else was refilling my cup. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals. Number 6, when I make a mistake, do I use it as evidence that I'm not good enough or as an opportunity to learn and grow? For me, it's always the latter. Oh, you know what? I messed up right there. Dang, okay. What did I do wrong? How did I let this person in? Okay, I see. I'm going to break down the entire situation so I can learn and grow from it. When you're constantly learning and growing, you're increasing your value. But if you stay the same, you're staying the same. You will become stagnant. Know your value. Number 7, if nobody applauded me, validated me, chose me, approved of me, would I still recognize my own worth? You don't need anybody's approval. Nobody. Well, let me change that. 2 sources of energies, I would say, you should be worried about approving you. Just 2. Yourself and God, divine, universe, source, whatever you want to call it. That's it. Because trust and believe, God knows your value. The only question is, do you know your value? Luke 12:6-7. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies? Yet not one of them is forgotten by God. Indeed, the very hairs on your head are all numbered. Don't be afraid You are worth more than many sparrows. You should only be concerned with how you're seen by the divine. That's it. Now, just like that scripture saying, they're talking about sparrows, but you can reduce it to anything. The plants, the birds, the trees, ants, everything is provided for. Because the divine God sees everything as valuable. So it supports it. It takes care of it. Once again, do you see your value? Do you see yourself through the eyes of the divine? Luke 43:4. Since you are precious and honored in my sight, and because I love you, I will give people in exchange for you, nations in exchange for your life. As I said, God, divine, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, knows your value. Go within and release all things that do not serve you. That is how you grow. Now, I remember reading a little blue book. It's a little thin book. It's called Meditations. And it was basically the journals from Marcus Aurelius, right? And they just put it out and put it in a little book. Now, one of the things he taught is that you shouldn't surrender yourself to the self-evaluation of other people's opinions, right? So he would put it as, it never ceases to amaze me that we all love ourselves more than other people, but we care more about their opinion than our own. Now, this was, like I said, Marcus Aurelius, which is a while ago, right? But it amazes me when you can look at all these different things in the Bible and all these different famous people and philosophers and all this other stuff that they talk about that we're still experiencing today. That should say something about how often people change. You get stuck in that cycle and just remain the same your entire existence without changing, when everything around you constantly is changing. Constantly. The time constantly changes. The weather constantly changes. The days constantly changing. The days of the week constantly changing. I can go on and on about so many things that constantly change, but humans try to stay the same. Think about it. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, your inner convictions shouldn't require validation from the crowd. Stop worrying about what others think. As I said, there's only two sources that you should worry about, care about. And that's your opinion of your value and the divine's opinion of your value. That's it. And anytime you're in an environment where they do not recognize your value, that is your cue to leave. Oh, okay, cool, no problem. They don't recognize my value? I'll keep it pushing. That's all you have to do. Is know your value and walk strictly from that. I'm going to leave you one last story. A young man carries a rusty sword that everyone mocks. People tell him, throw that junk away. A blacksmith offers him $20 just for the metal. A scrapyard offers him $15. Finally, he meets an old master swordsman. The old man carefully brushes away the rust, studies the blade, and smiles. Do you know what you're carrying? The young man shakes his head. This isn't scrap. The old man said, this is a king's sword. Now, through years of neglect It had hidden the craftsmanship, but it never erased it. The wrong people saw rust. The right people saw its potential. And the master sees who you were created to be before life covered you up with scars, or in this case, rust. So once again, just because somebody does not recognize your value doesn't mean the next person won't. But if you stay surrounded by those who do not recognize your value, you will lower your value. Multiple people telling him that sword was worthless, $20, $15, but he's carrying around a king's sword. They didn't recognize the value. And it shouldn't offend you, shouldn't make you mad. That's okay. You don't recognize my value. Somebody will. And when that somebody pops up, believe them. And I'm going to leave it there. And as always, if you got anything out of this message, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will definitely check you in the next one.